Minasan konnichiwa. Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel Saral Japani. Today is lesson 45 in which we shall learn about the counter for counting the floors of a building. How do we ask about the location of a place in terms of floor? Let's try to understand this in this lesson. In the last lesson, we started discussing about counters. We gave you the meaning and definition of a counter, and we have learned how we can ask the age of a person in Japanese. Today is the second lesson on counter, and today's counter is called kai. As you can see here written in hiragana, kai, which means floor. In Japanese, the counter kai is used to count the floors of a building. When we say nankai desu ka, so here you can see this is the kanji for nan, which means what or which. Nankai desu ka, which means which floor is this. Kai means floor, nan means what or which, and this you already know this is the verb, and ka is the interrogation, the question mark. So nankai desu ka, which floor is this? Now this is a very important chart. Similar chart we have seen in the last lesson as well with relation to the counter for age. So here on the left side we have four columns containing numerals in Japanese from 1 to 10. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, nana or shichi, hachi, kyu, and ju. And on the right side we have the corresponding words for the counters for counting the floors of a building. So the first one is ikkai. So ichi doesn't become ichikai, but it becomes ikkai. So this is an exception, and this exception is to ease the pronunciation. So ichikai may not be fluent, may not have a smooth flow when we speak sentences. So that's why it is blended as ikkai using double consonant. So you can see here this is the small su which is used for double consonant action. So a small su followed by another main consonant, it gives the double consonant form of this sound. So it is ka, so it becomes ikkai. Similarly, we have nikai for second floor. Again, another exception is sangai. So it is not sankai, it is sangai for third floor. And next is yonkai for fourth floor, gokai for fifth floor. Again, there is an exception. It's not rokukai, it's rokkai. So again, a double consonant rokkai for sixth floor. We have nanakai or shichikai for seventh floor. 8 is always having some exceptions as we have seen. So it is hakkai, not hachikai. Then we have ninth floor as kyukai and 10th floor as jukai and not jukai. It's jukai. So in the last lesson, we have seen while discussing the counter for age, this was issai, nisai, sansai, yongsai, gosai, rokusai, nanasai, hassai, kyusai, and jusai. So here also we have more exceptions than the previous one. Then for the counter for age, we have more exceptions for the floor counter than the age counter. And as you might remember, we have exceptions in normal numerals also. So for example, 300 is sambyaku. It's not sanhyaku, it's sambyaku. Similarly, ropyaku, then we have hapyaku. So similar exceptions are present while expressing the counters as well. So for Sai also we have seen the exceptions, and today for Kai these are the exceptions which are mentioned in these purple colors. So let's move forward now. We have 11, that means 11 numeral is Juichi, and the corresponding 11th floor count is Juikai. Juikai. Then we have 12, which is Junikai. We have 15 as jugokai. We have 18 as juhakkai. So 18 is juhachi and the floor will be juhakkai, and this hakkai comes from the 8th floor. So it is 10 plus 8, 18th floor. Then we have nijukai. So you might remember for the age counter, 20 years of age was hatachi, but here it is niju. It will be the normal nijukai. Then we have 83 as hachiju-san. So the floor will be hachiju sangai. Hachiju sangai is the 83rd floor. And finally, we have the 100th floor, although it's too big a floor. So it's hyaku is 100 and the floor will be called hyakkai. Hyakai. So you can see this is hya, he, and small ya, which means hya. And then we have this small tsu followed by ka. So this gives the double consonant form of ka. And finally this e. So this is hyakai in hiragana. So these are the words that one needs to remember for expressing the floor of a building, the number of floor of a building. So now let's look at some example sentences using this counter for floor, which is kai. Sumimasen, restaurant wa nankai desu ka? Sumimasen, restaurant wa nankai desu ka? So sumimasen, as you know, it's excuse me. Restaurant wa nankai desu ka? Which floor is the restaurant? So this is one way of asking. Nankai desu ka is which floor, and the subject is the restaurant, which is restaurant. Restaurant. Sumimasen, restaurant wa nankai desu ka? So the answer is restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu. Restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu. So as you can see, this is a new thing for you. Ni arimasu. Restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu. That is, the restaurant is on the 3rd floor. So now we shall look deeper into what is this ni arimasu, because this is the first time we are getting this. Restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu. So what are these two words in this phrase, ni and arimasu? So this is our well-known slide on the particles that are used in Japanese, and we have done already wa, ka, no, mo, and kara. So today's particle is ni. So ni here means movement, or you may call it as a location. So that's why the words like to, at, on, in, these are generally used in English, and the same purpose is served by the particle ni in Japanese. So now let's come back to this sentence. Restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu. The restaurant is on the 3rd floor. So here ni is a particle that may have more than 20 different types of usages. So there is not a single usage of ni. So in different contexts, we may have this same particle ni, but giving different meaning. So we won't go into all of those at this moment to avoid any confusion. For the present context, that is for the present context of identifying the floor of a building, ni is used to indicate a location of existence. So for the present context, ni is similar to at, on, or in for as in English. And next is arimas. Arimas is nothing but a verb that means to be or to exist. Arimas is different from des, which may also mean to be, but des is more like it is, that something is there or some universal truth is there. But arimas is specifically, it is used to locate something or to prove something's uh, existence. So if we combine ni and arimas, we have this structure of a sentence. Thing va place ni arimas. That is, thing is in the place. So this is what this ni arimas performs. It indicates the location of something, or it indicates the place of something. So if you map this formula, thing va place ni arimas to this example, restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu, you will see that thing here is restaurant, wa, then sangai is the place. That means third floor is the place and followed by ni arimasu. So restaurant wa sangai ni arimasu, thing wa place ni arimasu. So this is how we reply to the question of what floor is this, which floor is this, or which floor is something located. So the answer will be in the form of thing wa place ni arimasu. Now, yubin kyoku wa nankai desu ka? Yubin kyoku wa nankai desu ka? Yubin kyoku, what does it mean? It is post office. Yubin kyoku means post office. Which floor is the post office? Yubin kyoku wa nankai desu ka? Means which floor is the post office. Or we may ask in a different way. Yubin kyoku wa nankai ni arimasu ka? Yubin kyoku wa nankai ni arimasu ka? Which floor is the post office located? Now you can see the difference between these two questions. The first one is Yubin Kyoku wa Nankai desu ka? Which floor is the post office? There is no arimas here. But in the second one, Yubin Kyoku wa Nankai ni arimasu ka? Now we are mentioning about the location. We are querying about the location uh, of the post office, and we are asking about the floor location of the post office since sky is there. So the translation in English will be which floor is the post office located. So it is more specific a question. So both may be used. This is a more informal one, giving uh, uh, some generic meaning, but this is more specific. Which floor is the post office located? Yubin kyoku wa nankai ni arimasu ka? Similarly, ginko wa nankai desu ka? Means ginko means bank. Which floor is the bank? And the other way is ginko wa nankai ni arimasu ka? Which means which floor is the bank located? The answer will be Yubin kyoku wa rokkai ni arimasu. Yubin kyoku wa rokkai ni arimasu, which means the post office is on the sixth floor. The post office is on the sixth floor. Rokkai ni arimasu. Or sometimes informally we can also say rokkai desu, means it's sixth floor. It's sixth floor, rokkai desu. So it is just an informal answer to the question of Yubin kyoku wa nankai ni arimasu ka? So for that question, rokkai desu may also be a short answer, but the formal answer will be Yubin kyoku wa rokkai ni arimasu. Similarly, ginko wa hakkai ni arimasu. That is, the bank is at the eighth floor, or informally we can write hakkai desu. It's the short answer. Hakkai desu means eighth floor. It's eighth floor. Now you can see here one sentence is the post office is on the sixth floor. The second one is the bank is at the eighth floor, or the bank is located at the eighth floor. The post office is on the sixth floor. So both both of these English sentences have the same description in Japanese, which is Yubin kyoku wa rokkai ni arimasu, ginko wa hakkai ni arimasu. That is thing wa place ni arimasu. So that common structure will be followed, even though the specific sentences are different in English. Now there is another usage of kai, which is also related to floor only, but it helps to express the stories of a building. So what does that mean? Suppose we say this building has 75 floors. There may be another way of saying this is a 50-storied building. That is my 2-storied house. That is a 12-storied building. So for all these sentences, how do we express them in Japanese? So the story of a building may be expressed as number of floors plus the counter for floor, which is kai or gai, and followed by the verb to build, which is date. So number of floors plus kai plus date. So let's see now how these 4 sentences will be translated to Japanese based on this rule. The first is this building has 75 floors. Kono tatemono wa 75 gai date desu. kono tatemono wa nana gogai date desu. This building has 75 floors. Kono tatemono. This building, kono tatemono. Tatemono is for building. Wa 75 is nana go gai date desu. So this is story. This building has 75 floors. The second one is this is a 50-storied building. So this is Koreva Goju Gai Date no Biru desu. Koreva Goju Gai Date no Biru desu. So here you can see this is which is Koreva 50-storied building. This is Goju Gai Date. This is 50-storied Goju Gai Date. No is the particle for possession or the relation because the relation of this floor is with the building. So here biru is the katakana word for building, which is building. It will be the shortest. It will be the short form of building in katakana. So this is imported from the building word itself. Tatemono is a Japanese word. That's why it's written in hiragana. And biru is written in katakana because it has been derived from building, the English word. So Koreva Goju Gai Date no Biru desu. This is a 50-storied building. That is my two-storied house. So Soreva Watashi no Nikai Date no Ie desu. Soreva Watashi no Nikai Date no Ie desu. So that means that is Soreva. My is Watashi no. Two-storied is Nikai Date. And again, two-storied house. There is relation of this story with the house, so no particle will be used. Ie means house, and this is the verb. Soreva watashi no nikai date no ie desu. And the last one is that is a 12-storied building. Areva juni gai date no tatemono desu. That is a 12-storied building. Areva juni gai date no tatemono desu. So this is how we use kai and gai to express floors and stories of a building. And as you can see here, Gai is mainly used, but with Nikai, it is Kai. So it's mentioned somewhere that we can use both Kai and Gai interchangeably. There is no such definite rule uh, for using Kai and Gai. So some people use Kai, some people use Gai, but the generic rule is that we use Gai for when we mention third floor, which is Sangai des. It's not Sangai, it's Sangai. But again, some people argue that even Sankai is correct. So there is no set rules for this. You may use both Kai and Gai as applicable, and that should be correct. So friends, that's all for today. We have discussed and we have tried to understand the counter for floor, which is Kai and Gai. And in the next lesson 46, we shall be back with some more new stuff. So till then, uh, keep learning. So see you in the next lesson. Mata imasho.